being here. Wanted to share with you an experience that I had a few days ago. I went for IKEA just to buy a shelf. And before leaving home, I asked my wife if there's anything she. Yeah, sure. I don't know how the other speaker got something which was a bit more mobile. But so I asked my wife if she needs anything from IKEA, and she just asked me if I can check with them how much would be 2 kilograms of solar panel. Oh, excuse me, of solar energy. Now, I've been married for 28 years, and one thing I've learned is don't argue with my wife. I mean, it's either she's right or I'm wrong. So I just went ahead. And actually, to my surprise, IKEA, not only that they sell now solar panels, they actually sell solar energy. It is part of their overall strategy that they want to have everything that you need for your home. I would not get into the technicalities how you can actually buy solar energy, not just solar power, but solar energy from IKEA. But one thing is very important. IKEA acknowledged the huge changes that the whole energy market is going through. What you see at the back is what we've all been familiar with for over the last century, which is we have producers and we have consumers. And typically the producers produce in large bulks of energy. Never mind, some of them are very polluted. We are talking here about a lot of opportunities of less polluted energy. So it might be wind or solar or hydro, whatever. But at the end of the day, it is very clear. We have producers, we have consumers. The world is changing. The whole energy market is changing completely, and it's not even changing. It already started to change. So we are in the process, and this is where we're getting to, which is distributed energy systems. And it's not just a matter of small-scale production. It's a matter of a complete mismatch of the market because energy is flowing in all directions. Every consumer is now a producer, at least in potential. We're looking into different type of actors, like IKEA. No one thought that IKEA will be there. So as long as we don't acknowledge the big change, we will not be able to address the future. The literature and academic research have well into the technology things of those changes. So everyone is familiar with the migration to distributed energy. So we see a lot of researches on those changes. We see also a lot of research on the impact on the traditional actors. How would power utilities be impacted by that? But we need to understand that we are talking about a massive change. I've been recently at a sort of a working group with some of the thought leaders of the world, and we had a consensus on three things. One is that technology and players and actors in the energy field are completely changing. The second consensus was that within a decade, not more than a decade, the energy market would look completely different than what we know and what we think about, quite similar to how the internet changed things for a telco. And the third thing, which is very important, we had a consensus that none of us has any idea how things would look like within a decade. Okay, so the important thing is we see now completely different actors. We see companies like Microsoft, Amazon, and Google. They're after the data. Actually, they don't really care about energy, but they got now into the energy domain. IKEA, or even here in Israel, Hot and Telecom are becoming an energy actors. Toyota, Tesla, Mercedes, all the transportation companies with electric vehicles are becoming active actors. So we know things are going to be different, but we need to acknowledge the change. Okay, otherwise, standing with our feet in the ground is not a very long-term sustainable strategy. So what we need to understand, and this is what my research is about, we want to ensure that we have energy when we want it and how we want it, which is energy security. We want it to be sustainable. And we want to be sure that everyone will have access. We want to have energy equity, that everyone would have access to energy. For this, we need to understand who will be the new actors in the energy world, what would be their business models, what would be their motivations, what would be their impact on each one of those three pillars that we talk about: the energy security, sustainability, and equity. If we don't understand that and we just focus on the technologies, we're going to miss actually the next big thing. And this is what I'm looking on trying to figure out what is the classification, the type of operation, and the impact of the new actors in the distributed energy system on the energy trilemma pillars. Thank you.